There's so much fantasy to read, or not to read. Greetings, my name is Nina. Welcome back to my channel. Fantasy is such an amazing genre. I've read a lot of great fantasy books, and I will read them again. However, there are books that I haven't read, and in this video I'm going to bring them up. Well, there are actually a lot of fantasy books that I haven't read. However, I've decided to talk about these ones. Let's get started. So, I've listed all of the books in my notes app. So, number 1, Elderling Saga by Robin Hobb. I've heard everybody on the internet talk about the Farseer trilogy and the magic ships and you name it, and I never read a single book by Robin Hobb. I've heard that Robin Hobb likes to break you, she likes to make you suffer, and I actually had the chance to buy the first 2 Farseer books in one volume. I wasn't quick enough to buy it, and then I forgot about the book until I was reminded of it on BookTube. Am I going to read the series? Well, 50-50. I'm not rushing to read this, but I'm not saying no to this. Well, I think one of the reasons I do not want to read the Elderling Saga is because I do not want to be broken. I really do not want this series to slap me. Well, some years ago, at the end of the last decade, such fantasy would have been my go-to. These days, not so much. I think I should give it a chance. Well, at least to the first trilogy. Number 2 is the Elric Saga by Michael Moorcock, and this is definitely one of the very few books. So I've heard of Michael Moorcock, found out about him when I started listening to Blind Guardian. They have songs inspired by these books, and I also know that the Purple song Stormbringer is also about the Elric Saga. So I actually read a Michael Moorcock book back in 2020 and it wasn't great. Sure, I was disappointed in Michael Moorcock, however I did say that if I ever find the Elric Saga in the bookstores, I am definitely going to buy at least one book, and lo and behold, here I have it. The Citadel of Forgotten Myths. It was actually one of the latest books in the Elric Saga. It was published in 2022. Set between the first and second book in the Elric Saga, The Citadel of Forgotten Myths is perfect for longtime fans and those new to this epic fantasy series. Gonna start reading soon. I actually do have the entire series on my Kindle too, but I decided to go with the first physical book that I found. And yeah, I'm definitely confirming one thing, I'm confessing that. Let's see how this is going to turn out. This guy looks like Geralt of Rivia a lot. And I've heard that the series is often compared to The Witcher. Let's see what the books are like. Number 3. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Yeah, I know that this is technically sci-fi, not fantasy, but I decided to add the series all the same. I have the first 3 books on my Kindle, and right now I'm not in the mood of reading it, but I'm definitely going to read this. I actually want to explain my logic to you. Even though I have a Kindle version, I do really want to read the physical copy first. I still prefer buying physical copies and reading them, and yeah, I need a jolt, and physical books are jolts. Definitely going to read the series because it sounds incredibly interesting, really compelling. Number 4 is Eragon series by Christopher Paolini. So I've never read the books, I only know Eragon from the film. Yeah, I know that a lot of people, especially those who read the book, they hate the film. But at 12 years old I thought it was kinda entertaining, and I actually like the fact why Eragon is the chosen one here. I think it's explained very well in the story. Am I going to read this? I don't think so. Probably not. But I am impressed by the fact. I was impressed by this fact even back at when I was 12. I was impressed that the author was 15 when he published the books. And I did feel like I needed to live up. I needed to write great books by the age of 15. I did think that. Well, actually, now when I think about it, this fact makes me want to read Eragon, at least the first book, even more. After all, the author was 15 and I want to see what a 15-year-old came up with. That would be really great. Number 5 is the Redwall series by Brian Jacques. So I watched the first episode of the Redwall cartoon series. And I thought it was really beautifully animated. The story seemed interesting. If I find at least the first book in the series, I definitely want to read it. Number 6 is Babel by R.F. Kuang. Everybody on the internet read the book. I haven't read it, and I know for sure that I'm not interested in reading it. I really enjoyed Yellow Face by the same author. I thought the book was incredibly fun, but I'm not interested in reading Babel. I read the annotation and then I realized that not my thing at all. And I can say the same about number 7. This series is also by R.F. Kuang. It's the Poppy War series. I've heard about it and then I decided that it's not for me. Number 8 is Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. I have that one on my shelves. I really want to read it this year. So this isn't my first Ursula K. Le Guin book. The first one was The Dispossessed. Not a huge fan of that one. I no longer have it. But I do have high hopes for Earthsea. And number 9, I have Watership Down by Richard Adams. I also have this one on my shelves. I hope to get my hands on that book this year. Before I name the 10th and last one, a few honorable mentions. And finally, the last, number 10, fantasy book that I haven't read. The majority of the book talk masterpieces. So I definitely am aware of books by Rebecca Yarros and Sarah J. Maas and Leigh Bardugo, you name it. Haven't read them. I have zero interest in these books. Alright, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. What are the fantasy books that you haven't read? Are you going to read them or not? Let me know down in the comments. See you next time. Goodbye.